Hey y'all, how y'all doing today? I just wanted to put this out there. It's my testimony, story of my life, basically. Pretty much where I started, where I've been, and where I ended up as of right now. Well, I'm 33 years old. About to be 34 in July, but that's a few months away. I was raised in church. We attended Donahue Baptist Church in Pineville. I never really wanted to go. I only went because Mom and Dad made me. I joined the drama and the puppet teams to pass the time. And one day after vacation Bible school, my mom was driving the car and we got hit right in the passenger side door, the back door of the minivan. No one got hurt, miraculously, because we got hit pretty hard. I said the prayer of salvation when I was 12, I think, but I didn't mean it. I just said the prayer to make my parents happy. When I turned 16, I borrowed my dad's truck, his little Dodge Dakota, to go see Martha Donis in Leesville, Louisiana. I got hit in the driver's side door by a full-size pickup. It was my fault. I ran a stop sign. I didn't yield long enough. When I called my dad, I apologized multiple times for the truck, telling him I'm sorry that I totaled his truck. Dad told me he didn't care about the truck and asked if I was okay. I went to the hospital and they found nothing wrong with me, not even a scratch. I was informed while I was waiting for my parents by a state trooper that I should have been cut in half on impact by the seatbelt. When my parents came to come get me, we went and looked at the little Dodge Dakota. My parents went to tears. The truck was in the shape of a U. About 5 years later, I was driving my Toyota Camry like I stole it. I was highly inebriated and high. I lost control of the car and flew off a bridge at 115 miles per hour. I later woke up barefoot and covered in blood. I walked to the nearest house and got the homeowner to call 911. I went to the hospital long enough to leave. I knew that I was going to fail both the breathalyzer and the drug test. So I had my grandmother come get me and drop me off at a friend's house. The state troopers went to my dad's house looking for me. That night I avoided my first DWI. I went to the hospital the next day. My right earlobe was hanging from my face. A signpost that came through the windshield, barely missing my head. About 2 years later, I was driving to my drilling rig. I was stoned. I got arrested for my first DUI that night. Got to the rig and left early with plans of committing suicide. So I went to the boat, rode in, and then I bought 6 or 7 of the biggest bottles of aspirin and took all of them. I drove out to a place where I didn't get cell phone reception and went into the woods to die. I woke up and had a voicemail from my grandmother. She asked me to come over. She was worried about me. I drove to her house, stopping several times to throw up. When I got to her house, she saw the condition I was in. She called 911 and my parents. When I got to the hospital, I told them how long ago I took the pills. It was about 12 to 14 hours. The doctor then told me that my whole body should have been a bruise and I should be dead. About 1 year later, I cut my wrist, but I didn't cut deep enough. After that, I drove to a friend's house for some beers. And on my way back home, I took a curve too sharp and I wrapped my GMC step side around a tree. About 2 years later, I got married. It was awesome for about the first 6 months. After that, we started fighting like cats and dogs. I stayed getting high, and one day in the garage, I was smoking some mojo named Nightmare. Well, it was true to his name. My wife found me face down in the garage. It took her and our neighbors to get me in the house. When I came to, it was a whole week later. She told me that she was checking on me regularly. I was barely breathing, and she came in and checked on me every hour. One day we got into a fight, and I tried to suffocate myself with a trash bag. But something came over me. I took the bag off because I didn't want to hurt my wife like that. After that, I moved out and put a brand new ratchet strap around my neck and tightened it up. Then I proceeded to hang myself from the rafters. The ratchet strap broke. With a 250-pound capacity, I weighed maybe 180 pounds at the time. I've had moments where I would cut myself and need stitches. I moved to Pineville and I was still a drunk. I moved my wife back in with me shortly after that. My mom came over one day and she thought that I drank myself to death. Then one day I was about to go on a date and my wife called. I went to go get her and moved her back in with me. We had split up between me getting messed up on that mojo and missing a whole week of my life, and then she actually moved to a different city. I was still drunk and was still getting high on a regular basis. Then one day I was walking to my dealer's house to go get my drugs. Something told me to go inside this church I was walking right by, and these people showed me the love of Christ that I've never seen before. I needed food and was between jobs. And they helped me pay my rent, and they helped me with groceries so I could continue to survive. That's where I found God. Shortly after that, I moved to Pollock, started doing contracting work again, and I was burning trash outside my house. And my roommate decided it was a good idea to leave a can of hairspray in the trash that she knew I was going to be burning. Well, the can exploded right beside me. Miraculously, none of the shrapnel had hit me or the bottom of the can of hairspray. About a week after that, I took a kitchen knife to the garage. It was just me and my pit bull out there. When I went to go put the knife to my throat, he put his paw in my hand to stop me. Every single time. I tried like 4 or 5 times. Every time I wanted to go raise my hand, this dog would put both of his paws on my wrist to stop me. I mean, he knew. Then one day I was drinking. It was a Sunday, I believe. Sunday or Monday. I don't remember what day of the week it was. I was a little faded. I ran out of Jack Daniels, so I went to go get some more. That's when I got arrested for my 3rd DWI. I got sentenced to 3 years in jail and served 8 months. I tried to kill myself while I was in there by starving myself to death. A preacher from Angola started to minister to me, and a prison guard named Scott Clarkson. Upon my release, I came straight to New Orleans and went to their discipleship training program at the New Orleans Mission. God's still working on me. I'm trying to get closer to Him. Since I've come to Christ, I no longer hate myself. I'm learning to love myself and to allow others and Christ to love me. I no longer have the desire to end my own life, but to draw closer to Him and allow myself to actually love people. You can't love others if you don't love yourself. I learned that you can't fill a Jesus-shaped hole with the wicked and earthly things. If I would have stayed on the same path, I would have most likely been dead by now. All the time I was getting high and drunk, I thought I was happy. But now I see that it wasn't true happiness, but a band-aid where my heart needed surgery. I'm not walking after Jesus now. I'm running at a dead sprint. God made it to where I can finally look in the mirror and not hate who I see. Even though I was doing stupid stuff, God spared my life on multiple occasions, and it was my own doing. Thank God He is merciful and patient. I ask Him to grow me daily, and He is. To be honest, when I came to the mission, I didn't want to come. In fact, I gave the prison minister a list of places I wanted to go, but the mission was the very bottom of the list. I was trying to go to Homicide, get back in the oil field, but God said, no, you're going to New Orleans. Rightfully so, because I would have ended up back in jail or in a casket. I thank God every day for sending me where He did send me. Now, since all that has transpired, I have divorced my wife. It was a toxic relationship. I should have listened to my father when he told me not to marry the woman. But also, I shouldn't have even been looking for a wife. When you stop searching, that's when you find. And I just need to wait on God. I'm hoping this can reach somebody and touch somebody's life. If you need any prayers or anything, just feel free to comment. I will be checking, and I will have you on my prayer list. I'll put you on the prayer list here with all these ministers that I'm working with now. I have since graduated the program, and I'm actually staff now. I made it my life goal to reach as many people as I can. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope this reaches somebody out there.